morning, everyone. Hello, Dinesh. Welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to discuss about medical astrology, isn't it? So I just want to inform my Malayali audiences that this will be this will be an English video. If you have any doubt, I will come up with a video, Malayalam video, showing what was the actual discussion about. And if you have any doubt, you can comment below. Then I will make a video based on those comments. So welcome back, Dinesh. So let's start. What can we learn from medical astrology?
Okay, once again, thank you very much for this opportunity. Okay, to speak on medical astrology, something very a little abstract, but it's actually very interesting. If you understand
Yes.
medical astrology, it's actually very interesting, and you can actually start giving out remedies to your clients, and also specific prayers when they approach you. And sometimes you can use this to preempt a problem that is about to happen.
That's true. That's true.
Okay, so something that not many people can do, but with the aid of astrology, you can do that. So you can tell your clients in advance that there might be a problem in this area or this particular body part, organ. So try to do regular checkups and protect yourself. Okay, so astrology has many uses, and this is one of its uses, like an insurance kind of thing. Okay.
That's true. That's true. They're very much true. Because I would like to share one experience. When my third Lord Dasha was running, I had ear balance issues. I knew it was coming, and I was prepared for that also.
Vertigo, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay, cool. So let's begin. So basically, there is this concept known as Panchaputas. Okay, so there is fiery, earth, air, and water. Okay, so if there's an imbalance of these 5 elements in the body, then there is a problem. That is the what do you call it? The medical astrology part of it. Okay, or the Ayurvedic part of it. Okay, so now what is Vata? Vata is when Vata is out of balance, it means too much of air. Okay. And there's too much of air and results in excess movement and ungroundedness on both inner and outer levels of our lives. Okay. So the planets that are representative of Vata issues are Saturn and Rahu. Okay. When they are badly placed, they cause a lot of problems in terms of Vata issues. Okay. They are very pain causing problems. Okay. Very pain related problems. And amongst the three, so I will go through Pitta and Kapha, but amongst the three, Vata is the most painful one. If one goes through these issues, it's usually very pain. Okay, and that is why the natural malefics, one of the greatest malefics are Rahu and Saturn. Okay, Rahu, Ketu, and Saturn. But of course, Rahu and Saturn are one of the greatest malefics. Okay, so when they are causing problems with relation to Vata issues, because they are the planets that represent Vata issues, they will cause huge pain. Okay. So you see, naturally they are malefics, and then in medical astrology, they are the ones that causes Vata issues. So Vata is actually a very serious condition. So it's something that we need to give lots of importance to. Okay. Then we have Pitta. Okay. So what is Pitta? Pitta is when Pitta is out of balance, it means too much fire, and it results in excessive heat and combustion. Okay. So sometimes it can be it can cause frustration, anger, all these things. Okay. So who represents Pitta? The grahas that represents Pitta. Okay. The grahas that represents Pitta is the Sun, Mars, and Ketu. So sorry for putting it as planets. It's actually grahas. Okay. So for example, when someone has Sun in the first house, okay, for example, my wife, okay, she has Sun in the first house, she has hunger issues. She gets hungry. By midday, by 12 o'clock, if she doesn't eat something, she gets very hungry. So I realized it's actually a Pitta issue. Okay, but they are very.
One question, Dinesh. So the planet Sun, Mars, and Ketu. Okay, these three planets have a connection to Aries Sun, because Sun is exalted in Aries, Mars is the owner of Aries, Ketu is ruling the first nakshatra in Aries. So, do you think that the Sun Mars ruled signs have Pitta issues more than the other signs?
A little bit. You
Okay.
can say that a little bit, but I'll try to explain the exceptions later. Okay. So coming back, so I was telling, when Sun in the first house, so for my wife in that case, she has Sun in the first house, so hunger issues. Okay, but they are more immune to diseases. That is the natural effect of having the Sun in the first house. But of course, you need to see where the Sun is placed. If it's debilitated, then it's bad. But if it's in its own sign, Mula Trikona, then it's good. So that kind of thing. Okay. So then kapha is when it's too much earth and water. Okay, and this results in excessive couch potatoiness that activates lethargy and dullness. So kapha is more of earth and water, and if it's a problem, then it causes this laziness, that kind of thing. Okay, so the planets that represents kapha is the Jupiter, Venus, and Moon. Okay. So sometimes they say that, for example, Moon has a little bit of Vata, Mars has a little bit of Vata, that kind of thing is there. But generally, if we represent one planet, one graha for one matter of Vata, Pitta, and Kapha issues, then we can take it that Jupiter, Venus, Moon represents Kapha issues. Okay?
These three planets are actually very kind of comparison planets.
Yeah. Okay, but take note, Mercury. So amongst all, Mercury has been left out because Mercury is a mixture of all three. So it represents all three elements. Okay, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. And so if it's well placed, then Vata, Pitta, Kapha issues is good. Badly placed, then it's vice versa. But of course, so you need to look at the horoscope in totality. Okay. So the next thing is we also need to look at the signs. Okay. So the Sun is the Mesha is a fiery sign. Okay. So that's why you were asking if, for example, Mars owns Mesha and the Sun owns Mesha. So is it why it's known as a fiery? A little bit. You can say that a little bit. Okay. And because Ketu, why Ketu? Ketu is like Mars. Okay. Whenever Ketu, we just take it like it's like Mars. Okay. Rahu is like Saturn. Okay. In Kala Purusha, some people say Ketu owns this sign. Okay, ownership. Usually Ketu and Rahu is excluded from ownerships of signs. But generally, some people say that Ketu owns this sign and Rahu owns this sign. Okay. So now, so moving forward, so Mesha is fiery, Rishabha is earthy, then you have airy and watery. Okay, fire, earth, air, water. Okay, so so this is again, it's repeated. This is fire, earth, air, water, fire, earth, air, water. That kind of. So you can see it's water here, air here. This is earth, and this is fire. That kind of thing. So it's just a repetition. But then again, some people look at Kanni Rashi as airy sign. You know why? Because they associate Kanni to be a little bit of Mercury. So Mercury is like a airy planet. That's what they associate Mercury to. So they consider. Sometimes they consider Scorpio, Virchaga Rasi as fiery also.
Mars
because it's Mars. Yeah, so there's all these confusions, but I think we just stick to the classical text. According to classical text, it's fiery, earthy, airy, watery. Fiery, earthy, airy, watery. Okay, so now let's move forward. Okay, so what are the issues that can be caused by Vata problems? Okay, so headaches, dry skin, constipation, hypersensitivity. So the more serious problems, okay, migraine, all these things. Pitta is more of heat related, ulcer, fever, acne, all these things. Kapha is more of respiratory ailments. Okay, because water, that kind of thing. Weight gain, fluid retention. Can you see it's very watery?
Yes, fluid retention.
It's very watery and earthy related kind of problems.
I would like to say one thing. I know a nun. Okay, know a nun. She was my warden in hostel. So she is actually a very plumpy lady. So whenever she goes to a beach area or a area filled with water bodies, she just go collapsed. She gets some kind of feeling, and she will get collapsed. So people used to take her to identify the water element, like we will locate the place for digging the well, no? So she goes for that kind of purposes.
Oh, cool. Interesting.
It was really very funny. She's actually very plumpy. We can see that wateriness in her body.
Oh.
So we are astrologers, so we can identify. I don't know, ordinary people, they may not be able to identify. So I asked her, do you have any water related issues? Then she said, okay, whenever I go to beaches or water body kind of places, I get collapse. So people takes me to find the location of this well. That was really very interesting.
Yep. Cool. Okay, so now we go to the next part of the lecture. I mean, the session is on houses and medical astrology. Okay, this is something very important. It's something that I use very often. Okay,
it is very easy also in a health consultation. We can easily identify which part of the person is going to create problem for him, right?
Yeah, and it's so I'll explain very often. I have picked out some issues in people, and then they have gone to check, or sometimes they tell me, yeah, I have that issue, that kind of thing. So let's go through that. So before we start this, I just wanted to add on some problems. Okay, so example, vata problems can also be musculoskeletal problems. Okay, the muscle related problems, dizziness, pain, migraine, headache, and everything. Okay, and Rahu, Ketu, Saturn in 1-7 axis. So remember, I spoke about Rahu and Saturn being similar and Vata related. If they're in 1-7 axis, they cause all these issues also. The pain, Vata problems also. Okay. And for example, Mars in the 12th, it is mentioned by Brigu that, person will have Vata and Pitta problems, that kind of things.
Mars in the 12th house.
12th house. So
despite the sign. Any sign?
No. Depending, of course.
Oh, okay.
Of course, if it's in a friendly sign, if it's in a sign of its own, then of course the problems get reduced.
Okay.
So now let's move forward. So we speak about the body parts and the house related. Okay, so the head, the top is actually represented by the first house. Okay, here it is written as Aries, Taurus, Gemini, because it's actually following the Kala Purusha. Okay, but take note, it's very important. Your first house can be different sign. Okay, say for example, for somebody who is Leo Lagna, okay, then their first house Leo sign will represent the head. Okay, so don't get confused. A lot of people have this confusion that always, whatever horoscope you take, the first house is represented by Aries. No, it's not like that. The first house is represented by where your Lagna is. Okay. Generally, they always explain it like that: Aries, Taurus, Miduna, blah, 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 because it's a Kala Purusha. But it doesn't work that way. You have to see where your ascendant is, and that ascendant becomes your first house, and that first house will represent your head matters. Okay. So now the first house is head, the second house is the face, the neck. Okay. The third house is actually the ENT, ear, nose, throat, shoulder and everything. That's why when you were running through your third dasha, you were having the ear imbalance issues. Okay.
Yes.
So third house is represented by that. The fourth house is actually your chest areas. Okay, your lungs. So recently, just 2 days back, a lady came and she said that I was just hospitalized.
Oh, okay.
So I looked at her horoscope. I asked her, is it related to the chest area of your body because of the chest? Then she said, yeah, it's my lungs issue. So that's why astrology, sometimes you cannot pinpoint and tell, but you can roughly tell, where is the issue.
I have told my students that, when you study medical astrology, we will get a feel that, we are qualified as doctors. You should not think like that. We are just astrologers.
Yeah.
We can say which point is weak, but the diagnosis, treatment, and all
has to be done by the doctor. Definitely. Okay. Then the fifth house is represented by the heart. Okay, your heart is your fifth. Your sixth is your stomach. Okay, seventh is your intestine. Okay, lower abdomen, your seventh house. Your eighth house is actually your private parts, your reproductive organs. Okay, your ninth is your thigh. Your 10th is your knee. Your 11th is your this area, the cuff and below. Okay, ankle and everything. And then the foot, the 12th house is represented by the foot. Okay, so that is why the 12th house is a very important house in astrology. So I'm just adding some points here. So someone who has a 12th house affliction, we tell them go to temples in the hills. Why? Because you need to climb the stairs. You know. So my Gurunather E.K. Dilip will always say, when you see a problem in the 12th house, tell them to go to temples in the hilly areas. No, that's why in those days in India they built a lot of temples in the hills. Because you need you need to take effort to nullify your karma, your negative karma.
Wow, that's really great.
Yeah. So
because there is an assumption like our diseases are coming from the past birth karma. There is a belief like that.
Yep.
So this point is very important. If you have a feet issue, you should climb the stairs.
So when I see a lot of planets in the, like say 17 axis, 28 axis, I try to tell them, okay, then I see some, especially if it's malefics, natural malefics, functional malefics, then I quickly tell them, be very careful. I see some problems in your 28 axis. So what is 28 axis? 28 is your face and your reproductive organs. So you immediately tell them, go and see a doctor, that kind of thing. Or even sometimes, you see that, and then the person comes with, I'm trying to have a child, but I can't have one. So what should I do? So and then you provide the remedies associated with these reproductive organs and all, if it's afflicted. So sometimes you have to see the link. Okay, you have to see the link between their problem and what is happening in the horoscope. So I try to pick out those issues, and sometimes it has turned out well also. Like there are people who have been blessed with children after they went to do the remedies in the temples. Okay. So yep, this is mainly about the medical astrology.
Dinesh, since you are an expert in remedies, for me, like I don't follow much of remedies, like but you said the speed related issues. I thought I request you to come again and do a special video on remedies, like practical remedies, like climbing, other than gemstones and all. My viewers will be very happy to, because my thinking, my take on religion and philosophy is totally different from your faith. So I have so many people who follows me, who are like very religious people, religion oriented people. So you will have to come again and do a video on remedies.
Definitely. So let me tell you, the best remedy is meditation.
That's true. Very much.
Best remedy is meditation. If you start to do yoga and meditation, especially, yoga is, of course, is a great science by itself, but meditation is very powerful. It's like it connects you with the universe, the cosmic energy.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Okay. I also wanted to speak on 28 axis Rahu Ketu. 28 axis Rahu Ketu usually leads to kidney problems, addiction problems. Yes. Because why you're addicted? Because you're addicted through your mouth, correct?
Yes.
You talk about smoking. You speak about alcohol. Everything is related to the 28 axis, which is Rahu Ketu. So people who have problems because of this, you have to look out for what is happening in their 28 axis in their horoscope. Okay, let me see if I've covered everything. I've written some notes also. So yeah, Mars in the 8th might cause urinary tract infection. So just need to be careful with that. And yep. So yeah, that's astrology. So you can use astrology to identify the problems.
That's true. I have identified my own problems, and I have taken it. It was a blessing for me. Like I went to my doctor and said, doctor, for the next few years I'm going to be your patient. I know what all diseases are going to come to me, are going to happen to me, and you have to just prescribe the medicine. That's it. I will tell you the issues. You just give me the medicine. Then he was so surprised listening to that. That is the one beauty of that is the beauty of medical astrology. It is really very much valid.
Yep.
So one question, if you can answer me, like, about long-term illness, like, for example, people go for bedridden for so many years. Have you ever noticed that kind of pattern from any horoscopes, long-term?
You need to look at so like chronic diseases, long-term issues. You need to look at the Lagna Lord.
Oh,
where
okay.
is it placed? So when Lagna Lord is placed in the 12th, when it's placed in the 8th, and it's placed in the 6th, then you realize that these issues that's happening. Or sometimes Lagna Lord placed in the Lagna.
Okay. That also is.
Yeah. Then you have Sun, Mars, say Rahu, Ketu, Saturn, all looking at them. Then there's a huge impact. That's known as Karako Bhavo Nashya, correct? Depends. Karako, okay, for example, say Sun in Lagna, and then you have Mars, Saturn all looking at, because Sun is also the Karaka for your own self.
Okay.
Yeah. Danu Karaka. The Sun.
Yeah, okay.
Not Dhanam, Danu. Danu is me.
Tanu, body, physical body.
Yeah, physical body. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So thank you so much, Dinesh. I hope you will come back to my channel again.
Definitely.
Thank you for giving us a great lesson.